But you know who probably doesn't because apparently they don't like freedom too much is the folks that we're going to talk about next, which are the libertarians.
You know, folks is too close to fucks. I got to be honest. Those
Well,
fucks, those libertarians.
yeah, well, I hate. I might as well just said that honestly, but yeah, libertarians. I like to always say this. Sometimes I dislike them even more than Democrats because they, oh my god, they piss me off. And this weekend was a perfect representation of it because listen, they had Trump come in and speak to them. They had RFK Jr. come and speak to them. This was probably the biggest crowd the Libertarian Party National Convention has ever historically ever seen. And it's hilarious because they dumped both of those. Obviously, Trump wasn't a legitimate nominee for them because he's the presumptive Republican nominee, so not able to accept it. And RFK Jr., when it came down for voting for it, literally got 19 votes, which comes out to being 2%. So he got eliminated in the first round. Well, they ended up actually picking who? An extreme leftist. I don't even know what to label him. A progressive Marxist. I mean, I don't know who this dude is, but his name is what? Chase Oliver, right? And this is the presidential nominee for the Libertarian Party, which I mind you gets a whopping 1%, a couple million votes, whatever. But let's just watch this video of him talking about if he had kids, because again, he's gay. If he had kids, what he would do with them in a drag show. So let's watch this.
Why do you think that the drag queens want to read to children?
Because I think that they are performance artists and they want to be able to have different levels of performance art. It's the same reason as why do the Wiggles sing to children? Because they want to have a marketplace to kids. They want to be able to. They want to be able to.
The Wiggles is made for children. It's obviously family friendly material. Drag queens are not what you call family friendly kind of entertainment.
Okay, but a man in a dress is what drag is, right? I mean, let's just be real. A man in a dress or a woman in a suit is what drag is. Mm-hmm. That is not inherently sexual. There is inherently sexual drag, and you're not going to convince me. I mean, I'm not going to defend otherwise. There absolutely is, but there's also the ability to perform as a man in a wig without being sexual, and that is what this is. And I guarantee you, if you act like I said, I went for myself because I was like, why are there people protesting this thing? I want to see what this drag queen story time is myself, and I want to see what it is, and nothing sexual is going on. And I think that is the truth for 99% of this. And I think
would you take your kids to a drag queen story hour, or would you drop them off at a drag queen story hour? And
I don't think that's what happens. Most of the time, the parents are right there with the kids. But
I'm asking you, would you drop your kids off at a drag queen story hour and come back an hour later?
I mean, would you drop your kids off in a movie? Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, fellas, before I get your takes on this, that's Chase Oliver, obviously, but he has a couple other stances, which I thought that we have to point out here. He's pro open border, so obviously doesn't believe in sovereignty or anything of that kind. He is for lockdowns. He's for vaccine mandates. And a third one, which, I was about to say I can't remember, but this this topic reminded me, or this clip right there reminded me. He absolutely loves the idea of castrating kids, essentially. So, fellas, what do you think about this libertarian nominee right here?
Kev?
I think you should go first, Fabian.
All right, yeah. So because I know what Kev's going to do. He's going to break something or yell. So let me give the other take on it, which is he has a misconception about what Drag Queen Story Hour actually is and was actually said to do by the creator called Lil Miss Hot Mess, which created Drag Queen Story Hour. And this is in a scientific journal. And I'm going to say, quote, scientific journal, because Drag Queen Story Hour was literally invented by a drag queen named Lil Miss Hot Mess, who is this big thing in the drag community. But its intentions are, we want to read the children into filth. And those are the exact words that they use. And I wish I had it that we can pull it up. But what it does is it wants to show children how to live queerly, and to them, queerly doesn't mean trans or homosexual. It just means different than normal, because what they want to do is they want to break whatever heteronormativity they think is a problem in the world that's gotten us this far, and then just switch it and confuse children. They wear these very colorful dresses in Drag Queen Story Hour, the journal, the scientific paper. They say that they do it because they want the kids to see someone fun. Whereas a teacher is very authoritarian, very strict. The parents are also very strict. This person allows them to go on a fairy tale in their mind of unicorns and puppies. And they say, I like that person. They are fun. They don't tell me no. They allow me to do whatever I want. That's how they draw children into this queer ideology. And it's despicable, and they're groomers. And I'll say it because that's exactly what they are.
Kev, your thoughts on this Libertarian nominee right here?
You know, I'm not going to break anything besides your minds. I love him. I love him.
All right. Tell me why.
I love him. I just needed everybody to take that in for a second, but I love him because he's not competition. He works for us in a way, in the fact that when we think about it, whoever the Libertarians were to nominate, if not Donald Trump, would be competition for Donald Trump, or could be. And so they're nominating somebody who stands for things that Donald Trump voters and people who would vote for Donald Trump would not agree with.
That's a good point.
And so I love that they nominated this guy, because if they nominated somebody who was ardently, like, not conservative, but ardently almost anarchist in their viewpoint, and was anti-government, hated all of it, attacked Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and hated all of them, and hated everything both of them stood for, and basically wanted to, like, Ted Kaczynski the government, then yeah, Donald Trump would probably hurt. He could lose half to a full percent of a vote, which in an election, a presidential election, could actually decide it. So I love that they chose this guy, because had they chose RFK, that could maybe kind of hurt Trump, because then RFK would have more substantial normal backing, as he currently doesn't really have much. Had they chose somebody who was, like, actually a libertarian, then yeah, it could have hurt Donald Trump. But this guy, this helps Donald Trump. So
you're absolutely right. He really does help Trump here. And I think that if they would have picked like RFK Jr., that would have been disastrous for the Trump camp, simply because of the automatic ballot access across battleground states that he would have had there, right? Which I'm pretty sure he just locked in North Carolina. So he's still struggling. He's up to like 6 total states where he's on the ballot right now. People don't realize that RFK is literally on just 6 states, not 6 battleground states, 6 states in total, but might be 7 or 8 now. But fellas, I want your take on this real quickly. Production, if we can cue up that video, I sent it in last minute about Trump taunting the Libertarian Party, which I found to be absolutely hilarious. And not just to laugh at this, because I actually want Shell's take about this. Why did Trump show up? Why did RFK Jr. show up? Did they achieve whatever it was that they tried to achieve by coming to the convention, by speaking to libertarians? Did they sway some people? Or did Trump just come in there to do what this video is all about? Let's go ahead and play this.
That's nice. Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years. The reasons for doing so. That's nice.
Oh my God. So obviously he taunts them with the fact that they literally 3% would be incredible. That's their historical high, was 3% 2016 with Gary Johnson. Usually they get about a 1%, right? So fellas, what was the whole point of Trump going there? What was RFK Jr.'s whole point of going there? What do y'all think?
You know, I think they both just wanted the publicity and try to siphon people away from the Libertarian Party to go vote for them, right? Obviously. But here's why I think I agree with Kevin in that they picked this disastrous choice. I don't know how the hell this guy even got vote. Who are these libertarians? Like, who in the hell are they? But here's one thing that was very that stood out to me a lot. When Trump was making that speech, and I watched the whole thing like twice because it was so good. It was so good. You had some of the crowd that was booing for him and part of the crowd that was cheering for him. So you saw this divide in the Libertarian Party itself over people who supported him, and it was about 50-50. That's what it sounded like to me. So if you have people who are cheering Trump, and the Libertarians, they select this little spaghetti arm dude, Chase Oliver, then you're going to effectively destroy the Libertarian Party, split the vote so that half people potentially will go to Trump, and then half the other people are going to write his name in or something, this Chase Oliver guy. So I think this only helps Trump, because if, as you said, RFK only got like 19 votes out of the entire convention, which is insane. I thought it'd be more. That means they're not going to go to JFK, and they're for sure not going to go for Biden if they're Libertarian. So what does that leave? That leaves one option, and that's a person who half the convention was cheering for.
Yeah, well, there's that. I think so. I covered this topic before Chase Oliver was nominated on my show on Sunday, but Chase Oliver just even confirms it further. Is that I think they both achieved what they set out to do in going to this, and they were different. I do think that they were different. I think the publicity sure could be a shared reason to go there, but I do think it was different. I think RFK Jr. went there because he needed to go there, and I say that because RFK Jr. has gone to, besides our podcast for some reason, has literally gone on every possible podcast, platform, speech he's been invited to, even the ones that he hasn't been invited to. He will go literally anywhere to talk because as an independent candidate, he needs that exposure. Even though he has the name recognition, even though he's getting the media publicity, he needs to work to further connect with people because he doesn't have the automatic, like, kind of just, oh, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I am one of the major party nominees. He needs to go everywhere. He needed to go to this convention. Trump, however, didn't need to go to this convention. He could win without it. What he wanted to show is that he was going to be the unifying president. He actually even said it a few times in that speech about the idea of unifying libertarians and bringing them. And even in that roast a little bit, he was trying to say, I'm going to bring you guys in. You want to know, like, the thing is that so many libertarians, so many people look at libertarians and are like, oh, those are the libertarians. They're just like the Green Party, or even the same way some people see like Marjorie Taylor Greene or like parts of the Freedom Caucus. Like, oh, they're just fringe. Like, they're just contrarian to be contrarian. People write them off. Donald Trump was up there trying to say, hey, do you want people to take you seriously? We didn't play this clip, but he said in that speech, he said, I'm going to invite libertarians to be a part of my cabinet, to be in leadership positions. I'm going to make it so that people will take you seriously. He was going there not because he needed to, because he wanted to, because he wants to unite people against the uniparty. Donald Trump is not a conservative. Donald Trump is not running as a Christian cross Catholic or Christian, whatever. He's not running as a traditional conservative Republican. Donald Trump is running as an anti-uniparty candidate, and he knows that libertarians, by and large, are against the uniparty. And so if they want to be taken seriously, if they want to go against the uniparty, if they want to stop getting just their 3%, then they'll jump on the Trump train, all aboard. And if you don't want to, that's fine. We don't need you, but we want you if you want to be a part of it. Get on the train or get out of the fucking way. That's what he was there to do.
I love it, Kev. That's perfect. I think that summarizes the entire chaos that we were talking about. And that's exactly it. I mean, to just close off this segment is that obviously there's a bunch of people who are voting third party, libertarian. They're disenfranchised by the two political party system. They're probably disenfranchised by the establishment. Like you said, Kev, is that they don't like the uni-party aspect of it. But I think that when it comes down to an actual representation of your values being institutionalized, or some sort of representation of your values or whatever it is, I think that if I was a libertarian and I was looking at it, I would say, well, let me join forces with Trump. And I'm not going to say Republicans, with Trump himself, the coalition that he brings and whatnot, because libertarians, like I just said, they don't like the uni-party. They're anti-war. That's probably one of the biggest things. And looking at all three candidates, I mean, I don't want to validate Chase Oliver over here. So looking at what we actually have, I don't know why anybody would vote Chase Oliver. It's Joe Biden 2.0. Libertarians don't like that stuff. So I would hopefully see them voting Trump, and I think we saw that in the crowd there. Gentlemen, any last thoughts before we go to a break, before we get into
I want to roast this Chase Oliver guy. I'm going to do
Please.
some more investigations to him, and then maybe on the next episode we'll go a little deeper into Mr. CO, Mr. Spaghetti Arm Mafia Man.
No, we absolutely should. I just think, I will say, as much as I just like roasted everybody besides Trump in that last thing, I will say I do think it's really funny that one thing that RFK Jr. did do at the Libertarian Convention is he brought rubber chickens to hand out to the crowd to squeak during Trump's debate, because I do think that that RFK, if he meets all the qualifications, RFK, Trump, and Biden should all be on that debate stage come what is it, June 27th and further. And so I will give him credit for that. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've spoke about this on previous shows, is that it seems like he meets all the requirements for it. So hopefully he's on that stage for sure. That's what this country actually needs. And he'd be the perfect disruptor for everything there.
Yep.
Kev for VP. That's damn right. Before we go to commercial break, make sure that you retweet this. Anything that's on your screen, go ahead and click it there. And if you're already not part of our Telegram group, make sure that you join us on Telegram, because that's where you get updates on this show, updates on all the breaking news, especially stuff that we can't put out anywhere else. So screenshot this. You'll have that barcode there, or just go to t.me/breakaway and join our group and community.